Brisbane. Look at that. I thought I'd start with a beautiful view of the Brisbane city. Look at that. See if we can turn you around now. Hello, how are you? It's so good to be here. And welcome to our new world. Joy, joy. We're all very happy, but not really. We're up and down. We don't know where we're at. It's very confusing times for so many people, isn't it? Let me just put you down here. I'm a one-man band, so I've got you on a stand. I'm just going to pop you here so I can talk to you and say hello. Hi, welcome to Wednesday. I'm Katie Gordon and I'm Dietless Living. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Maricruz. How you going? How's everybody out there? Wow, what a world we find ourselves in at the moment, hey? This is rapid change and things going on, and some people are excited and some people are not excited, and I completely get why some are and why some aren't. For me, I'm eternally optimistic, so I think, you know, with all great change comes great shifts, great opportunity, but sometimes going through those great changes is, it's like ripping off a band-aid, isn't it? It's not very pleasant, and sometimes it goes for a bit long. So I've got my glasses on today so I can see if you leave me a lovely comment. So if you have any questions about, or you've got any concerns, what's your greatest challenge at the moment that you might like to pick my brains about? So in case you don't know who I am, I'm Katie Gordon and I'm Dietless Living. I predominantly work with people to help them change their thoughts, feelings and behaviors to do with their health habits. But ultimately, at the end of the day, everything that I teach my clients is applicable to the current situation that we all find ourselves in, because we are having emotional reactions and responses to everything that's happening, and we're not feeling in charge of what's going on for us. And that's the stuff we don't like, and that's the stuff our nervous system does not like. And as I said, there's so much rapid change at the moment. People no longer working at work, they're working from home. For some people this is a great joy, and for other people it's a brand new experience, and that is causing them to have concerns because they've never worked from home, they haven't set up a home workspace, and they don't have the routines and habits that go with working from home, because working from home is actually a bit of an art, I think. You know, it's great. At first you feel like, yay, I'm on holidays, I'm home, I can work in my jammies, I can just kind of cruise over and do what I need to do when I need to do it, pop on a load of washing perhaps. But the reality is working from home is a little more challenging than that. So some people are finding that difficult. Some people have got all their kids now at home, partners are working from home, so it's a full household of people, whereas normally it may not be that way. What else is happening? Socially, we don't have any of our social connections and activities and groups going on anymore. We're missing out on maybe popping down to the local for an afternoon get together on a Friday. We're missing out. I noticed the Brisbane Rowing Club, I think it is, that's up the river from myself. They're usually on the river every morning rowing away. That's not happening anymore. It is encouraging to see everybody still riding their bikes and running along the riverfront. Might take those off because they're a little bit reflective, aren't they, with the light? So we have so many changes going on, and people are struggling. I struggled as well. It's kind of get my mind around the fact that I'm not supposed to go out. I like to go out. I like to be out. I love to go to South Bank and be with all the humans, and there's still people out and about, but you know, we're just changing. So what is your biggest challenge at the moment with all your current changes. And of course, there's a lot of people that have instantly lost their financial income because businesses have closed down, bars have closed, cinemas closed, the cinema at the barracks is closed. Everything. We've just gone into lockdown, and it's a surprise and a shock for all of us as we try to adjust. I was in the supermarket yesterday just up near the barracks, or at the barracks, and what occurred to me is what a surreal situation it is to be walking around Coles and seeing so many empty shelves, and only being able to buy, you know, 2 of this and 1 of that and 2 of this, have restrictions. It's very puzzling for my brain to catch up with actually everything that's happening. So thank you again for joining me today and joining in. I would love it if you've got any questions, thoughts or concerns, comments, anything at all that you would like to put out there. I'd love to hear from you. I can't see, I've got my glasses there. So I thought, what is it that I can contribute? How can I contribute to anybody, to everybody? Because I want to help people. I want to help my family, I want to help my friends, and I want to help the people that are connected to me on social media. I'm connected with several thousand people on LinkedIn, and you know, a couple of thousand people on on Facebook. There must be something I can do to contribute. So this is my way to contribute, which is sharing my knowledge and with hope, addressing some of your fears and concerns and helping you to move through those. So I thought today I just cover like the 3 principles of what I teach. Oh, I left post-it notes on it. Love live filming, look at that. Woo! Hope the back of my hair's looking nice. I love post-it notes. Where would I be without them? My world rockets for them. Well, the 3 principles of Dietless Living is communication, can you see me? Connection and community. Because when we communicate clearly with ourselves and with others, we can consciously connect so that we can build community within ourselves and without ourselves. So within and with the people around us. That's the 3 principles, and we really need to be implementing all of those at the moment. But today I thought I'll just cover communication with self predominantly, because at this particular time in our life, the words that we say to ourselves are not the ones that are keeping us calm. For some people it just comes naturally. They're really onto really good internal language. Some people are really good at external language, the thing that they're saying to everybody else, but inside they're quite fearful and quite worried, which is natural and normal. So I thought we would just kind of talk about what it is, how we say. I was trying to think of a really great metaphor or analogy, and the best one I have is painting with numbers. Have you put your hand up if you know painting with numbers? So if you don't, painting with numbers is you have, thank you for the hands up, woohoo! If you do painting with numbers, you have, you know, maybe 3, number 3 is blue, number 5 is orange, and, you know, number 2 is white. And wherever you see those numbers, you put those colours, and you get a picture. Well, the words that we say to ourselves inside here, and the words that other people say to us, paint a picture. So if I say to you, don't forget your keys, what's the picture in your mind that you have after that? It's you forgetting your keys, right? And so the words that we're saying to ourselves about the current situation is things like, oh, I don't know what's happening out there in the world. I'm fearful. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I don't know what's happening. I can't I don't understand this, and the virus is spreading. We're saying everything that appears to be the facts, but we don't really know what the facts are at the moment, and even if we do, sometimes repeating them just isn't the most helpful thing for us. So what is really good is, because every word you say paints a picture, and every picture you have in your head creates feeling in your body, and every feeling that you have in your body paints another picture in your head, and every other picture you get in your head compounds those feelings that you have in your body, and eventually you've got this thinking, feeling spiral thing going on, which creates inside of you attention, and then you react to something, and your reactions create your behavior. So your thinking is the beginning of a spiral of that will come out as a behavior, and a behavior leads to an outcome. So you've got to think about, what is the outcome that I want, and how can I work backwards into, well, if I've got that outcome, I'm going to have that behavior, and if I want to have that behavior, I need to probably have that feeling, and to get that feeling, what thoughts do I need to have in my head to generate that good feeling? So it's really good to, what are the things that I say to myself is, well, I have a humorous one, which is, like a bad curry, this will pass. It's a really big bad curry. But I also talk to myself about, well, I've gotten through troubled times before. I haven't been through anything like this before, but, you know, I've gotten through great challenges. I have the internal resources within me to do what I need to do. I sit down and I look at, what are my resources, what are my skills, how much finances do I have, what do I need to outlay, who can I contact, who's in my network. I think about, what can I do to, what are my resources, and then I start to make a plan forward. We all need to be doing that. That planning forward gives us forward thinking thoughts, and forward thinking thoughts gives us a little bit more of a sense of control, because at the moment we feel very out of control, because none of this is within our control at all. So that planning gives us a feeling. We can see, our brain can see, okay, I've got these resources, and let's start making a plan, start brainstorming. What's my biggest obstacles? What can I do about that? And even if you go, these things I can't really do, but your brain starts to think, and you've got it thinking in a forward momentum direction. And that's the main thing, to have it thinking in the forward direction, rather than in this moment here. So the other thing that happens with our thoughts is we separate ourselves out, because we get caught, our brain gets caught up in the worry of a future that we don't have any control over. That leads to panic and anxiety and all kinds of unpleasant feelings. And what we would really rather have is a feeling of connection to us and being present here in the moment. Hello Francis, how you going? And being here in the moment. So there's a simple strategy that I use for the times when I used to have a terrible anxiety, is I start naming everything. This sounds really bizarre, but it is actually the fastest way to bring my mind back into my body, and I've read since it's actually a very good technique for through cognitive behavior therapy. So I name everything, one single word at a time. I don't get too wordy. It's light, sign, wall, ornament, carpet. If I'm outside, number plate, car, color, dog, fluffy thing. I don't even have to know what it is. I just label it. And what that does is that makes your mind return to where you are, because you're suddenly very aware of your environment and where you're at. And when you're very aware of where you're at, your mind and body are in the same place. And that helps you to bring that heightened feelings back down to normal. Hello everybody. Sorry, I'll put my glasses on so I can say hello. Oh, hello Isabel, nice to see you. Francis, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you guys are hopped on to have a look and give me some feedback. So yes, the naming everything is very helpful for us to stay present, because it's being present. Eckhart Tolle will be your go-to person at the moment for the power of now. He is brilliant, and it's being present, because when you're present, then you can connect back to yourself, and when you connect to yourself, then you're really fully present, and then you can think through the problems. There's never been anything that happens in our life that we can't think through. There's unpleasantness, there's tough times, there's stress, but it doesn't have to be things we can't move through. We don't want to immobilize ourselves at this particular time, when we want to be upward mobile thinking and forward looking, future pacing ourselves. So is there anything in particular that you have a question maybe, or something that your biggest obstacle at the moment maybe, and you want to just throw it out there and see if I can give you some help with that? Because that's what we need to do. We need to be communicating with each other. My post, I think I did a post the other day, it just said communicating now is more important than ever, because with the social distancing and self-isolating, we don't want to confuse that with social isolating. We need to be mentally and emotionally available to everyone if we can't be physically available to everyone. Hello there, how you going? So this is the time for building community. Now, what do Australians do, and Americans, and the English? What does everybody do the best in the time of crisis? We rally together. What did we do for the fires? We rallied together. What did we do for the floods? We rallied together. What did we do in the 74 floods? We rallied together and got together. But with social distancing and self-isolating, it's kind of taken away our rally together. We don't know who to donate to, because there's no charity for this. So the only thing that we're able to do to help ourselves to think about forward planning is to help others to forward plan. We need to be able to connect with our neighbours. You might stick a little note in their letterbox that says, hi, what's your email? Stick it, I'm in number 13, stick your email in there, and let's get together on Zoom and swap stories and problem solve together. We've got to keep our critical thinking part of our brain online so that we can problem solve together. The elderly are most at risk if they get the disease, but they actually have the words of wisdom that you and I need, because we've not been through this. But granted, most of the elderly people have actually been through war, and they went through the Depression and the non-affluent 60s and 70s. They've raised families in tough times, and they grew businesses in tough times. We need to be talking to them. We need to rally together to make sure that everyone in our community, whether our community is our family, our friends, our people on Facebook, our people on LinkedIn, people you don't know, the people in the street, the people your local shops, we need to keep rallying together and make social distancing and self-isolation just that. But the community must stay strong. That's what we do in a crisis. That's how we get through a crisis. It has been said time and time again, after a crisis, after a flood, after a fire, after something has happened, what got people through was community, where the love of strangers, people coming that they didn't even know, would come and help, would offer support, would drop around some food. My neighbour I didn't even know brought over a curry. You know, this is what makes our heart grow, and when our heart grows, we can survive whatever's going on. It gives us the strength to move forward. So I hope that this is helpful for you. Remember, we must keep community happening. we need to keep awareness around the thoughts in our heads, because the thoughts and the worry and anxiety, it escalates and causes us to have the unhealthy, unhappy feelings, and that ends up being a behavior which compounds on our outcomes, and we want great outcomes at this particular time. So I'm going to wind it up. Thank you all so very much for watching. Hello Maria, it's so great to see you. How are things over in France? Hello Margie, thank you for logging on. I love you all. Just to recap, what I talked about today is just that. Community is a must. We must keep reaching out to people. We may not be able to physically be in touch, but we can be mentally available and emotionally available for people. We live in the best of times, really, because we have the internet to be able to do that. We can bloody broadcast from my office at home to everyone and be talking to lovely Maria in France, and lovely Margie at Bribey, and lovely Francis in Brisbane, and lovely Isabel in Brisbane. And that's the important thing. We must keep reaching out to people and get a handle on what's going on in our mind, because it is our mind that is going to ultimately lead to the outcome we want. And the outcome that we want is one that is forward-paced, future-planned, leading towards abundance in the future. Abundance right now. We need abundance now, and we do that by helping others. We all know somebody who's with virus. I don't know many people with virus. We don't have big cases, but we all most likely know someone who suddenly just lost their job and they no longer know how they're going to pay their rent. They're the people we need to be reaching out to. I don't know what we can do. We're all kind of going, ooh, count our pennies, but we can pull together as a community, and that's the winning spirit of Australians and the French and the English and the Americans. Pull together and create your own community. Thank you all very much for listening today and watching. I'm going to broadcast again this afternoon around 5 o'clock, and I've committed to broadcasting every Monday, every Wednesday and every Friday for the foreseeable future. Each day I'm going to think of something new that I can share. There's so many things that are changing in our personal life and our external worlds that there'll be lots that I can do to offer some help, something that will be of service to you. We have changing habits, how to increase your health habits, how to build resilience. I've made a really long list of things that I can talk about and offer to you. I'm just going to give you everything I've got, and hope that that is really helpful for you. So lots of love to all of you. I wish you all very, very well and safe passage through this very, very strange time that we all find ourselves in. And I